y'all know that I'm coming to America at Thanksgiving, right?
Love like you never grew up and live like you just get one tonight. We're kings and queens.
Well, hey everybody. Good morning from Barcelona. It's nice to be home for a change. It's been a while since we've had a roundtable talk. I cannot believe how busy life has become and how incredibly fortunate Terry and I have been to not only be able to travel so much of the world in a beautiful style, but also to live in this wonderful place here just outside the city of Barcelona. So it's May and we've been home cumulatively maybe 6 weeks since December. It's absolutely insane. Last year and a little bit of this year have been consumed by all of that travel that got crunched together post-COVID, and we're finally through that schedule. But in the meanwhile, of course, now that I'm no longer only the river cruise king, it seems that a lot of the ocean companies are dying to get access to you because they know that my clients and friends love to travel. They love to travel in a really comfortable way. They're curious about things. They love culture. They love history. They love architecture, and they really love good food and, of course, comfort. And somebody told me, I was just at the Chairman's cruise for Oasis, and someone said, well, Dave, we love you because you're bougie, but you're not overly bougie. And we know you like nice things, but you're not uptight about it. And I think that's really funny. And it leads me into the first thing I wanted to talk to you all about today as I have my morning coffee. Scenic. Have you all heard of Scenic? Now, Scenic is an Australian company. I have sent one or two of you out there on some Scenic river cruises, but have you heard about the Scenic luxury ocean-going yachts? If not, boy, do I have a treat for you. Terry and I were invited to sail on the Scenic Eclipse from Tenerife in the Canary Islands to Malaga, Spain. It was about 3 weeks ago, and I think I might have ruined Terry for life because now that he's had a taste of what it's like to go on a super luxury yacht that only has a maximum capacity of 225 people, while also providing the dining experience choice from 9 different restaurants, having butler service, everything completely all-inclusive from all of your food and drinks to your tours, and even for just a little premium extra, helicopter rides and submersible rides directly from the ship. Scenic excels at expedition, so a lot of their focus is in Antarctica, the Arctic, places where they can get out their own boats and kayaks and get you out there doing hands-on, up-close trekking. But they also, when they're sailing between the Arctic and the Antarctic, they also are doing lovely cruise itineraries that are going to some quite exotic locations. But also when you're pulling into these ports, the ship is small enough that you're right there in the center of everything. You step off, but everything with Scenic Eclipse and also on Emerald, which is their sister product, Emerald doesn't have as many inclusives as Scenic, but you're VIP all the way from your reception when you board the ship, which is extremely relaxed and special. You walk on board to a person that takes you and sits you down and makes sure that you have a nice glass of champagne or welcome drink or whatever you'd like upon arrival. Then you are escorted over to the front desk, where within 5 minutes you are completely checked in, everything's done, your photo taken, and you already have been whisked up to your suite to meet your butler. All the suites on Eclipse are beautifully appointed. We walked in, and so we were guests, of course, as I mentioned, but we have to thank Scenic and the management and the sales team at Scenic, because they really did treat us like visiting royalty, as they should. I am king after all. But we walked in, had beautiful flowers, a bottle of champagne. The rooms are spacious, well appointed, well laid out. They have special things like, and this might sound like a little thing, but just like having a Dyson hairdryer. A lot of the ladies out there will love that, because one of my friends, Yvonne, was talking about it on our recent Chairman's Cruise. Little things that make the difference. You have Illy coffee makers, your refrigerator is stocked with everything that you want, your butler takes care of all of your dining wishes. And let's talk about dining, because on this vessel, which again, 225 maximum people, but there are 9 different restaurant venues. From the French restaurant, there's an Asian restaurant, which actually has 3 sections. You have a dedicated sushi area. Only 14 to 15 people a night can sit in front of the sushi master. And I'm not lying when I say, out of 225 plus cruises, this was the best food and the best service that I have ever had. And you all know I love Explora, but we're also talking about a whole different class of sailing. 225 people versus 790 or 900 people. That does make a difference. Every restaurant you walk into, it's calm, it's quiet, it's a luxurious experience. The food in the French restaurant where we went to the first night impressed even my French husband. And we just, course after course, day after day, had really impressive experiences. So Scenic is not for you if you enjoy waiting in lines or being crowded or being served kind of average food and being told it's elevated. If you like to go into a anytime dining restaurant and have fresh made bread, like I had a pastrami sandwich. The bread was so fresh and the meat and everything was so good and delicious. I thought I was in a New York deli. So it was incredibly rewarding and a very luxurious experience. And the thing that's I found most striking about it, aside from just how nice and friendly everyone was, it was laid back. There were no airs, there was no nose up in the air about what anybody was wearing. And I met a gentleman on board and he said, "Dave, this is luxury Australian way. You can be sitting next to a billionaire and he's going to be wearing a t-shirt and flip-flops at breakfast, and you're not going to know, and nobody's going to care." Now, in the evenings, people dress up in just basic, as I like to call it, your casual, elegant attire, whatever you would wear to go out to a nice dinner. Our tack dogs are here. All right, well, the guard dog had to come over and make sure that everything was okay. And they're living their best lives, these two. So anyway, but back to Scenic. And I want to talk more about the food because it really was something extraordinary. And as much as I have cruised and as much as I have traveled, it was really nice to go into every meal having a wow moment instead of thinking, okay, I just got back from a trip where the food was okay, but when you're traveling, you want to have wow moments, every day. It's not, you don't want to wait for them. So if you are already cruising on some of the elevated lines like Silver Sea, or Regent, Seabourn, you're already paying more than what the entry level suites are in some sailings for Eclipse. So I'm going to start adding Eclipse more and more to our offerings and telling people more and more. We are definitely going to be leading some trips in 2027 on Eclipse. They have a very interesting 14-night Brazil adventure. Terry's very interested in discovering more about South America. So we're looking at, it's going to be around November of 2027. Details are coming. We're also looking at possibly doing the Seychelles or something in the South Pacific with them, because I love the fact that with the ship being smaller, they really get into fantastic placements in nice ports. For example, we were in Madeira, and we just stepped off the ship in the middle of the, everything, downtown Madeira. We decided, rather than taking the included tours while we were there, we really wanted to explore the island. And we had a car delivered directly to the ship where we just walked off, grabbed the keys, took off, spent the day, came back, parked the car right in front of the ship, and they came and we handed over the keys. So that's something that you can do when you're on a smaller vessel. So that is something to keep your watch for, and I'm gonna start offering more and more specials, because they do run some super rates, and I think you'll be surprised. Now, the one thing to keep in mind, there's, it's a smaller vessel. They have a show lounge, so they have shows at night, but they're not these big productions. It's usually a singer or piano player. They have a huge central lounge with great sitting areas, so people can sit with their friends, listen to the piano player, have great cocktails. And their mixologists, they know what they're doing. So that was another really fun thing after dinner, to go down and just tell the bartender your mood, and they would create a signature cocktail just for you. And there's not a whole lot or ton of activities. There's the standard things. They'll do some trivia, they'll do some game things, but this is an opportunity to really travel and relax and be pampered instead of go all the time. It's definitely not like a Royal Caribbean, Icon of the Seas, or one of those great big mega ships, which have their place and are also lovely if that's what you're looking for. But if you want to just relax and be pampered and treated like a celebrity, an incognito celebrity, Scenic Eclipse is for you. And I mentioned the Emerald brand of their ocean ships. Emerald is a still beautiful ships, iconic, luxury, but they're not as all-inclusive. So it's usually about 15 to 20% less on the fares. But they also have a lot more active tours and things. And the ships are designed a little bit more for active activities on board. They have, pools and things, whereas the Scenic doesn't. The possibilities are plentiful. So if you're looking for a really special trip, get in touch and we'll plan something with Scenic or Emerald on the oceans. So it's time to talk about my favorite cruise line in the 700 to 900 passenger range, and that's Explora Journeys. And who am I kidding? It's my favorite cruise line overall. As much as we loved our experience on Scenic, we also recognize that, that has limitations, because they have only 2 ships at the moment, and they are going back and forth between the Arctic. So there's not as many opportunities to explore certain parts of the world when we want to. And last week I was sailing in the Mediterranean on a ship that was not Explora, and fate was teasing me because we docked right next to Explora Journeys 1, and I felt a little homesick. So some of you know that next year I am hosting, along with Terry, 2 different Mediterranean itineraries. And we were originally slated to go in June. And that group was going, and we've been humming along, and lots of bookings are coming in. We're getting very excited about it. And while I was in Vienna in March, I got an email. We're very sorry, but Monaco has changed the dates of the 2026 Grand Prix, which means we have to interrupt your 2-week sailing because they are official sponsors of the Monaco Grand Prix, and the Explora Journeys ships need to be in Monaco. So it took a lot of rearranging and starting over, and instead of sailing in June, we are now going to be sailing in May of 2026. We're sailing the 13th through the 20th and the 20th through the 27th. We're basically all the same ports. We're going to be heading to Sardinia and Corsica and parts of Italy and France. All the individual details of each week are listed on my website and on the info page. But it's very important to point out, the way that I've arranged this is that you could go for week 1, which will start in Rome and finish in Barcelona. You can stay on the ship for week 2, which will then go round trip from Barcelona. Or maybe you can only go for 1 week. So you can pick either week 1, Rome to Barcelona, or week 2, which is the round trip to Barcelona, and still get a chance to experience the wonderful Explora product. And Terry and I were talking, if we were limited to only sailing with Explora and Scenic and maybe Virgin for our little bit of spicy fun, we would be fine with those 3 ocean-going cruise lines. And Explora is just very special. And starting at their entry-level suites, just like Scenic, they're extremely comfortable. And I will say, when I was comparing the suites, the entry-level suites on Explora were just as nice as this, super yacht luxury Scenic Eclipse. And, when it comes to the food and the service with Explora, it is on the same level as Scenic, but it's different. Scenic is a little bit more reserved, and on Explora, it's that typical, being met with the smiles and that cruise atmosphere. There are many, many more people on Explora compared to Scenic, but you're still getting this incredibly friendly, authentic, warm service. And everywhere we go on Explora, the food and the choices and the variety is fantastic. Now, I did get some emails lately. One started out, "Dave, you've ruined us forever." It was one of my favorite clients. They were sailing, they did a transatlantic on Explora, and she was lounging by the pool, called me as well and said, "All right, you've got us. You were right. I don't think we can cruise anywhere else because it is just that fantastic." So I want to invite everybody, if you've been thinking about a trip next year and you want to do something fun and exotic and really pamper yourself, come with us on our Explora Journeys adventure, and try to come for all 2 weeks, because there's definitely going to be some fun activities here in Barcelona that will be connected with the trip. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the faces of people as they enjoy this wonderful product. So everybody, I also have to talk to you about Antarctica. Terry was not very excited when I told him we were going to a cold weather destination again. But then he found out we were doing the flyover with Lindblad. So we're going to be going in 2027 to explore Antarctica with National Geographic / Lindblad in February. And instead of risking the Drake Passage, where it could be the Drake Lake, or it could be, huge winding up on YouTube waves and up and down, we're going to fly over, do the exploration of Antarctica, and then fly on back. we are having a Zoom party to talk about all of the details and to learn more about Lindblad and what kind of cruise line it is. It's, again, a very elevated experience, luxury experience, but also very science-based. One of the interesting things that I've learned about the Lindblad National Geographic partnership, with all the other cruise lines that are out there doing Antarctica, the captains and the companies are still in charge of the itineraries and where you go and when. With Lindblad, that's not the case. The people in charge of your day-to-day activities are actually the scientists and the adventure leaders, because they know where, for example, the whale pods are at the moment and special things, and they have an unlimited control over something very important, the fuel supply, but they say where the ships go and when and where and how, so that you maximize your opportunities to see and experience all the wonders that Antarctica has to offer. So I'm sending out invitations for our Zoom party. It's going to be in June, the 5th or the 6th. We're just nailing down the details. I tried to have one last month, but I had technical difficulties, so we had to reschedule. So watch my website for the new invitations. We're hoping to do it on June the 5th. We're just nailing down one of the scientists that's going to come and also talk to everyone. And also, at the same time, we're going to have another Zoom party regarding Africa. Now, in 2026, I am going to be going to Africa with Tauck. Tauck is a 5-star, very high-level service and luxury, small groups, but also a rather large price tag. So as an alternative, I have also partnered in 2026 with Collette Tours, which offers amazing African adventure. It's 4 stars instead of 5, which is still a very high level of service and experience, but the price tag is a little bit more affordable and a little bit it's not so ouchy, but you still get an incredible safari experience and staying in wonderful hotels and lodges and getting that one-on-one up-close animal activity. We're going to be having a Zoom party for that as well, and I'm going to put all of that in my newsletter, but I want to start doing a little bit more interactive activities for you all to hear more directly from some of the providers. So we're going to start doing some Zoom parties for the different trips that I'm doing, and also things that I think might interest you. One of the great things that's happened since I joined Oasis is that I have access to the best travel vendors in the world. And the great thing is, because we've done such a good job at Oasis, we finished number 2 last year in the rankings out of about 1,100 agents. Everybody wants to work with us and everybody wants to talk to you. So we're getting invitations and offers and specials all the time. So I want to start being able to deliver that to you all a little bit more personally. So for example, last week I sailed on Regent with Regent Seven Seas Splendor for our chairman's cruise of Oasis. And it wasn't just the top producers that were along, as well as our great management team, but a lot of vendors, a lot of the national sales managers from, say, Virgin, Azamara, who else was there? We had TTC Group, which is Brendan Vacations and Africa Gold and Trafalgar. Everybody wants to help me build groups and take you all on their products. So it's nice to have this access. But what I realized is it would be even better if I bring the access also to you, so you can hear, in live and in person, some of the great things about these cruise lines. So another thing I want to talk to you about, I don't know if you saw this, but definitely look on the newsletter and also on my website. Last year, when we did our Christmas market cruise, I had 2 wonderful gentlemen from Portugal come along, Jans and Sal, And Jans has a great YouTube channel called In the Mood for Life. And I've talked about it before. If you haven't gone over to his YouTube channel, I really encourage you to. He has a beautiful way of presenting his travels and the places that he sees and visits and makes it so inviting. Well, last year he came along on my Christmas market cruise, and last month he released what I can only call a love letter to Christmas markets and the River Cruise King. It is a 50-minute review of our trip, beautifully filmed, wonderfully presented, and I think captures the essence of what it really is like to travel by river cruise and to visit Christmas markets. Now, not only is that wonderful video available, I would like to point out that our 2026 Christmas market on the Danube trip is more than 50% sold out, and it's only May of 2025. And now that the boys are also going to be working with me and promoting the trips to their own followers, we think this trip is going to sell out soon. So if you've ever wanted to go on a Christmas market cruise, I urge you, get over and grab your space. We're going to be on the Amadeus Nova, beautiful ship that I just sailed on, I want to say last week, but it was actually March and April. I don't know where the year is going, but it's going to be a beautiful trip. The ship is absolutely gorgeous. We have a wonderful itinerary. We're going to be stopping at some of my absolute favorite Christmas markets, namely the Regensburg Turn and Taxis Romantic Christmas Market, which is probably my #1 Christmas market in all of Germany out of the thousands of markets that I've been to. Well, can I say thousands? Well, over 1,000 would be more likely. But it's going to be a fantastic trip. So get your spot. If you're a little wiggly, like you don't know, go and watch the video In the Mood for Christmas. It's over at YouTube. It will inspire you and get you excited to go on a Christmas market river cruise, but even more importantly, to go on one with me. So that is ho 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 here in May. Y'all know that I'm coming to America at Thanksgiving, right? It's true. I am coming back. Well, kind of. This November 30th, to celebrate 15 years of Friends of Dave tours, Celebrity Cruises and I are working together to create a very special celebration sailing on the brand new Celebrity XL. We're going to be sailing round trip out of Fort Lauderdale, Eastern Caribbean, and quite honestly, the Caribbean is wonderful and I love it, but I'm so excited for the ship itself. We will be on only the third sailing of this brand new incredible Celebrity ship. For me, the ship is the destination, and the ability to spend time with all of you is our whole reason for going. There's information over on the website, and if you would like to come and hang with us and, do a little Margaritaville as we visit the Caribbean, come along with us. There's not that many opportunities to visit stateside, so this will be one of them, and it's November 30th through December 7th, Celebrity XL, and I can't believe that Friends of Dave Tours is 15 years old, because Friends of Dave is what led us also to come back into cruising. So I think that's worth celebrating. I think you're worth celebrating. And I think it would be really fun to see you there and to sip cocktails and paddle around in the Caribbean. So head over and check it out and grab your spot if you haven't. There's already over 60 people signed up. So do you really want to be left out? No FOMO. So all right, everybody, that's it for this version of Roundtable Talks. I know it's been a hot minute since I've put one of these together, but you know me, I don't like to be predictable. I don't like to send my emails on a regular schedule because then I think you don't read them. I know when I'm getting emails from the same sender week after week, I don't look at them. I go delete, 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 because I don't have time. I only mail you when I have something really important to say or interesting or a great new offer. And the same thing goes with these roundtable talk videos. I don't want it to be tedious, and so when I put them up, I want it to be a little bit special. And I hope that you are inspired to join one of my adventures, because we do have quite a lot of fun. And not only is it fun because we put some interesting activities together, but we're fun because I have the best clients and the best fellow travelers, and I know that y'all make friends with each other and enjoy traveling together, and that's what makes all the difference. So see you on the seas, and thank you for watching Roundtable Talks. Oh, you know what? And hit subscribe. I never do that. I'm not a YouTuber, but everyone's yelling at me that I never say, hit subscribe, hit subscribe. So go over and subscribe.
Love like we never grew